All right. Hey, shalom, Israel, Most High, Christ bless. I'm going to touch on something real quick. I don't really got a title for it right now, but I want to touch on a couple of verses in Sirach 26, and then we're going to jump to Ecclesiastes 9 and go through maybe half the chapter, and then we'll come back, Lord's will, and finish it up. All right. Actually, let me start. I think I want to start in Proverbs 31. One sec. Now let's start in 26. Read Sirach chapter 26 and verse 1. So, sisters, if y'all have not read Sirach, Ecclesiastes, the 26th chapter, it's a in my mind, it's a parallel for the most part to Proverbs, the 31st chapter. It's more like I would say an addition to, or an add-on, or an addendum to Proverbs 31, and how you build your character, and how you build your faith, and how you build yourself as an Israelite woman. Sirach, the 26th chapter, it's one of my favorites when it comes to the women. So let's start there. Sirach chapter 26, verse 1.
The book of Sirach, chapter 26, verse 1.
His mic louder than mine. Go ahead.
Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife.
So God said, blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife. Matter of fact, read chapter 25, verse 26.
Sirach, chapter 25, verse 26. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go.
Read.
Blessed is the man that have a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double.
So you see in the last verse of Sirach 25, and then going into Sirach 26 and 1, you see the difference between these women. You got one woman that has no desire to be renewed in her mind and apply Genesis 3. You know what I want? Genesis 3. Yes, sir. Watch this. When it says 25 and 26, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, Genesis 3. This is not only as you would have her, this is as God would have her. Read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
So the bottom part of it says, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
That's right.
This is Bible. I know y'all did not hear that when y'all was going to the Potter's house. Y'all didn't hear that when y'all was going to what are some of these IUIC and all these other spots. But guess what? This is Bible. The same book y'all was quoting some verses when you was in the church. Guess what? We're reading. Go back to Sirach 25 and 26.
Sirach chapter 25, verse 26. If she go not as thou wouldest have her.
How do you have her? As your mind. As your mind goes after God, guess what? She goes after your mind. That's how it's supposed to be. That's the order that the Lord set. As you, as a man of God, as a son of God, as your mind is going after the Lord, guess what? Your wife is going in the same direction. However, the Lord said if she ain't going that way, and she calls, and she by her works, by her actions, by her speech, she says, yo, I don't believe it. Yo, that damn Bible stuff, I forget all that stuff. What are you talking about? My desire after you? Who the hell you think you are, Tyrone? Come on, dude. You serious? I remember you when we was getting it in the back seat of the Jeep. What the hell are you talking about? We was smoking weed together. We was going to the club together. Now you talking about my desire got to be to yours and you ruling over me. You lost your damn mind. So God said, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, go ahead.
Cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go.
God said, let her go. God said, let her go. But on the flip side of that, 26:1.
Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife.
But God said on the flip side of the woman or the wife that don't want to go after your mind, that isn't after your heart, he said it's a blessing for a man to have a wife that is virtuous. So let's pull up the definition of virtuous or virtue. Let's pull that definition real quick. Virtuous. Let's read it one more time. 26:1.
Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife.
God said, blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife. It says, it's a definition of virtue. Let's blow it up a little bit.
Zoom in, AV.
Let's blow it up a little bit. Okay. We can't blow it up. It said, this is the definition of virtue. Conformity to a standard of right or morality. I don't like these. I found one that I like. Go to just google.com. And then you're going to type in virtue, not virtuous, virtue. Because there was a point in there, in that definition that I gravitated to. Let's read Sirach 26:1 again.
The book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 1. Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife.
God said it's a blessing for the Israelite man to have a virtuous wife. Why? Because based on, y'all see it on YouTube, the brother Kevin Samuels, he has and we hear it on Clubhouse too. You hear how ungodly the black woman is. We hear it almost every night. You hear it on these different interviews every day, how ungodly and unvirtuous the black woman is in these last days. A product of America. Pull up this. Can we see the definition? All right, this is the definition of virtue. Read that.
Virtue, behavior showing high moral standards.
So God said a virtuous wife has high moral standards. Her behavior models a high level of morality. She has a standard. It says goodness, righteous morality. Scroll down. A quality considered morally good or desirable in a person. A good or useful quality of a thing. So watch this. Read Sirach 26:1. That's the definition I like. Go back to the definition.
Sirach chapter 26 verse 1. Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife.
So God said, blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife. Meaning, blessed is the man that has a wife that is useful to him in this truth. Useful to him in this walk. Not only does she have a high moral standard, but she's useful in this truth. She's not the one that complains day in and day out about you doing the work. She's not the one complaining day in and day out about things that are well within her power to handle, that God put in her spirit to do. As we read on, we're going to read on over the next couple of verses, because I'm going to show y'all that God put it in your spirit not only to have a high moral standard, but to be useful to the man, to be useful to your children, to be useful to your household, ultimately be useful to your nation. Read on.
For the number of his days shall be double.
Because God said ultimately that's the length of the man's life is in the virtue, the high morality, the usefulness of his wife. I'm gonna give you an example. With the Israelite diet, we can't have a bunch of salty food, man. We can't. damn arteries be hard as what's the thing? The garden hoses. Jokers be stiff as hell. All that damn salt in the food. As a virtuous wife, because you understand I need to be useful to my husband because he needs to be at his peak mental capacity to not only deal with captivity, deal with the work in the body, deal with the issues that come along with rebuilding a nation. He needs to be at top physical condition. A part of being in top physical condition is his diet. Who has control over that man's diet? Guess what? The wife. In order for her to be a virtuous wife and be useful to her husband, pull the definition back up. And for her to be useful to her husband, guess what? She needs to be able to have the wherewithal and the high moral standard to say, you know what? Let me make sure I'm fueling this son of God with the best food. Let me throw a salad in there once a week. Does it always have to be chicken nuggets? Does it always have to be mac and cheese? No. It can be a salad or two. Now I know the sisters, I got a connection. Sisters are saying, yeah, but he don't like salad. Or, well, you know, when I cook something, he only like the unhealthy stuff. Well, guess what, sister? It's within your power, because sisters don't realize how much power they got. It's within your power and your God-given ability to move that man to make better eating decisions. Maybe he don't like it because you don't know how to season worth nothing, because you got to throw Lowry's in every damn thing. That could be something, right? I don't know, and I'm just talking, but I feel like that could be the case. How about you learn how to use the herbs and spices from the earth? Sirach 20, what is it? Medicines from the earth, 38. Watch this. Sirach 38, verse 4.
The book of Sirach, chapter 38 and verse 4. The Lord had created medicines out of the earth.
So God said he created medicines out of the earth. Hold that. Let me see if this is what I want. 1 sec. 104. Read that again. What you got?
Sirach, chapter 38, verse 4. The Lord had created medicines out of the earth.
Watch this. Psalms 104, verse 14. I'm going to show y'all something real quick. Psalms chapter 104, verse 14. Because y'all think I'm just talking SH just to be talking it. But we got to go through the scriptures. Go ahead.
The book of Psalms, chapter 104, verse 14. He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle.
So God gave the grass of the field to the cattle, right? Go ahead.
An herb for the service of man.
And guess what? He gave certain herbs. I'm not talking about grass that grows in your front lawn. But he grew herbs out of the earth for the service of man. So guess what? You being a virtuous wife, you being useful to your husband, you having a high moral standard, you understand that there are certain herbs and spices that I can use that grow naturally out of the earth to be able to season and flavor my food. Because guess what? There's this brother, I forget his name off the top of my head, the minister of wellness. And he has this acronym called, he calls them G-bombs, which should be the foundation. I don't like the term diet necessarily because the connotation is it's for a period of time as opposed to an eating lifestyle or an eating, your eating habit or your lifestyle of eating. But he calls them G-bombs, which should be our the foundation of our eating lifestyle. It's greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. That should be the foundation of our eating lifestyle. And you read that through the scriptures. First, I think it's like 1 Samuel 2 or 1 Samuel 12. I'm shooting from the hip. But when you read about when David was when he was living in caves, when they were at war, What was he eating? Lentils, beans, goat milk, so stuff like that. He was eating from the earth. So how much more we, being in a spiritual war, should be eating like our forefathers? And guess what, sisters? You have a lot of influence on what we eat, how we fuel ourselves, so on and so forth, right? Go back to 26. So that's my little rant. Learn how to season your foods with herbs and spices, because God made those things. Oregano, cayenne pepper, cilantro, all these things come from the earth, and God gave it to us to heal our bodies. Because when you got a strong body, strong mind, strong spirit, they all interconnected. 26:1.
Sirach, chapter 26, verse 1. Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double. A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace.
So he said the same thing. A virtuous wife. That's a virtuous woman. The woman that has useful qualities. A good wife that has useful qualities. A good wife that has that is morally good and a quality considered morally good or desirable. She's morally good. She has high moral standards. Go ahead. He said, and God said, read the bottom of that. And he
shall fulfill the years of his life in peace.
And God said that highly moral woman, she's going to be a pillar of rest. Translate peace to pillar of rest. She's not stressing him out every time he walks through the door, dumping every issue and problem she got on her brainstem on him. That she's resourceful. She knows how to solve problems. And then the only thing she's really reporting back to him are solutions that are within her strength to do, of course. But everything's a problem. The house is always burning down. You ain't got one solution for nothing. So I got to deal with Esau in captivity. I got to come home and deal with you. I got to deal with the issues and problems of an entire nation. Damn, we get no peace in captivity? Damn. So God said, a virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. And guess what, sisters? There's no way to swim your way out of that or squirm your way out of that. Well, I'm only going to do that if he do it for me. Are you crazy? What we're reading are the laws of God with how a woman is supposed to deal in her house with her Lord, her husband, the God on the earth, the son of the sons of God that we are. So there are no caveats for that. There's no if this, then that. Go ahead.
Verse 3, a good wife is a good portion.
Now, let me say this too, because again, I know we ain't talking about the brothers putting his hands on you. We're not talking about those extremes. The brothers being violent, the brothers putting his hands on you, throwing you through walls and mirrors and all that. We ain't talking about that. But the regular trouble in the flesh issues and stuff like that, listen, the Lord didn't give you any ways out in that regard. He didn't give you a big toe in the door. Go ahead.
A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord.
So guess what, brothers? If you fear God, that means you're going to, and I'm talking about you single brothers, you're going to prove the sister to make sure that she fears God. That takes time. That's not a 6-month process. That's not a 9-month process. That takes time. That's why the counsel we give is wait at least a year. Don't touch the sister. No playing with your fingers and playing with none of that. No touchy-feely stuff, none of that stuff. Because proving a friend takes time. But if you fear God, guess what? You're going to do it. You're going to wait. You're going to prove. Go ahead.
Verse 4, whether a man be rich or poor, if he had a good heart towards the Lord, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance.
Jump down to verse 16. Because I told y'all, matter of fact, jump down to verse 13. Because I said earlier that God put it in your spirit. We ain't going to go through the whole chapter, but God put it in your spirit. God put it in your soul. God put it in every fiber of your body to be able to apply these attributes that we're reading right now. I know you have been broken, beaten to hell and back in Babylon the Great, as we all have. But guess what? That was because of our sin. That's because we transgressed against our God. So now in these last days, God is resurrecting the nation of Israel. He's resurrecting the judges. He's resurrecting the rulers of the earth to set the earth back in its rightful course. Us being on top, the men and the women following. You following the lead. Verse 13.
Sirach chapter 26, verse 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband.
So the grace of a wife, or the virtue of a wife, or the goodness of a wife, the high moral standard of a wife, the usefulness of a wife, the resourcefulness of a wife does what?
Delighteth her husband.
Is a delight to her husband. Anything opposite of that, and you're not a delight. Matter of fact, look up the antonym, which is the opposite of delight. Look up delight antonyms. It says dismay, displease, disgust, displeasure, pain. Guess what, sisters? If you're not displaying the attributes of a high morally standard, I don't even know if I said that right, highly moral standard wife, we're going to leave it at that. Then guess what? You are a displeasure, disgust, and a pain to deal with to the Israelite man. That's why for you in this captivity, because we got more than enough to deal with in the world, when we come home, we want, read this again.
The grace of a wife.
That's all we want. We want to deal with the grace of our wives. Look up grace. We want to deal with the grace of our wives. Grace. Pull it down. We want to deal with the courteous goodwill. We want to deal with the courtesy, the politeness, the manners, the respect, the decency, the civility, the thoughtfulness, the etiquette, the consideration, the diplomacy of our wives. That's what we want to deal with. Not every damn time we say we going right, but left. Left looks so nice. Left is great. I love left. Left, left, left. Sister. Right. What else we got to talk about? But left. Left is nice. Sister such and such is going left. Brother such and such is going left. Left. But sister, you're not being courteous. You're not being decent right now. You're not being thoughtful. God said the grace of a wife delighteth her husband. Go ahead.
And her discretion will fatten his bone.
Now we got to look up discretion. It's really discreet, but look up discretion. Don't take out the definite. Okay, you already did. Go ahead. No, you just had it. That's all right. Discretion. Read that first one.
Discretion. the quality of behaving or speaking in such a way as to avoid causing offense or revealing private information.
So discretion is the quality of behaving or speaking in such a way as to avoid causing offense, as to avoid causing arguments, fights, any railings, any backbiting, any of that. God said, read the bottom part of it. It says, in her.
And her discretion.
Her discretion, or the quality, her behavior and her speech, where she's moving and speaking in such a way that she wants to avoid causing offense. It says what?
Will fatten his bones.
Will fatten a man's bones. Will fatten a man's bones. Scroll down. Let me see if it's any more than that. Scroll down. I think that's it. Okay. Read on.
Verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
So it says, a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord. Sisters, there is no man, well, outside of a simp, there is no upright godly man that wants to hear a woman complain about everything she can think of off the top of her head. Because and sisters know how to complain. Lord have mercy. If you're poor, broke, and ain't got $1 in the bank, I'm poor, I'm broke, I ain't got no money. Lord, what we gonna do? What you gonna do? We need money. We need diapers. We need this. We need that. We need okay, cool. Then the brother comes up. He get an extra $1,000, $2,000. He get a little job where he get an extra $5. You know, he go from to $15 an hour to $20 an hour. Brother get a little bump in pay. All praise to the Most High. Here the sister come. Brother got they went from the 1-bedroom to the 2-bedroom because they was cramped in the apartment. They got a second little cash car. It's a little clunker, but guess what? They get from point A to point B because they've been needing to get from point A to point B. And they was tired of sharing the car. Okay, cool. Here she come. This car, I don't like this car. It smell. But sister, you said we needed a second car. I got a second car. It's got 4 wheels and an engine. And it goes forwards and backwards. Yeah, but it smell. Okay, sister. All right. Okay. This apartment is too small. Sister, we was just in a 1-bedroom. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, but you see I bought all this furniture. Now I need more space to put all my furniture in. So, that's something to complain. You serious? So we went from the 1-bedroom. It was a little hole in the wall, but we made it work. You complained about that. I skilled up, put certain things in place. All praise to the Most High. The Most High sent this connect my way, so I was able to do this and maneuver here and whatever the case is. And the Lord leveled me up. All praise to the Most High in captivity. Now, what we had before wasn't no good. What we got now, you was cool for the first 30 days. Then after that, it's just not enough. Damn, man, you mean to tell me that you cannot be satisfied in captivity at all? We got a whole kingdom. We have a planet Earth that we fighting for, and you talking about this extra 300 square feet of an apartment. Not even a house. An extra 300 square feet of an apartment. That's a hell of a way to live when you already in hell. So God said, read that verse again.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
Is it saying that you and your husband will never have, he don't want you to have a conversation with, well, whatever. Is it saying you'll never, talk about how the day was and whatever the case is? Of course not. Does it mean that you're walking around with duct tape over your mouth and you should never say nothing outside of what do you want to eat when we having sex? No. For the most, that's 80. It's a good 80-20 split. But guess what? That a part of that silence is you using discretion in your speech to know, you know what? Let me just be grateful to the Lord for what this man has done up to this point. Let me just give all praise to the Most High that I got a husband and I got breath in my body and we both healthy and we got healthy children. Not what you ain't got. There's a verse, Sirach, I think it's either 12 or it says, when you poor, you don't think about riches. When you're rich, 11:25. That brother been meditating on that one once or twice. Yep.
The book of Sirach, chapter 11, verse 25. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction.
So God said, in your prosperity, when you get an extra dollar or two, you forget the little, you go to your little 2-bedroom, little 1,000 square foot apartment. You just came out of the 1-bedroom, 500 square foot. All of a sudden, that's prosperity to you. Then you forget about the little rat in the hole that you just came out of, right? Go ahead.
And in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity.
But then when you get, the Most High allows your worldly things to be taken, whether it be a fire, whether it be a theft, whether it be that second little hoopty car got into an accident, now you're right back to square one. All of a sudden, you forget what the Most High did for you in the first place. This is a spirit that can never be satisfied. So you will end up dying here looking for a second car because you want tinted windows. Because you don't like the way it smells. Am I saying don't go after nice things? Am I saying go for the crappiest car in the back of the lot that you can? Obviously not. Don't be slow. But what I am saying is, if it's do what's within your strength and give thanks to the Most High that He allows you to have the ability to get certain things in this captivity that are within your strength. If you want some more, you get your behind up and go get a bachelor's degree. Go get you a little $60,000 job. But a complain in a second. Go back to read verse 14.
Sirach, chapter 26, verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
It said there's nothing better than a mind well instructed. Instructed how? I'm looking for something real quick. Hold on. It says being instructed. Get Romans 2:18. A mind well instructed. Instructed by who? Instructed by Steve Harvey? Instructed by, give me some of these other cats. I think he's probably the most popular one. Steve Harvey, hell, all your pastors. Is that who y'all are to be instructed by? Romans 2:18.
The book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 18. And knowest his will, and approvest the things that are more excellent, being instructed out of the law.
So a virtuous wife, a good wife, a highly moral wife is going to be instructed out of the laws of God. That's what a virtuous wife is. A good wife. She's instructed. Her mind is instructed by the laws of God. In her mind being instructed by the laws of God, guess what? The scriptures that we read, Sirach 38, Psalms 104, about seasoning your food, you won't be offended by that. You ain't going to be offended by me saying you can't cook, you don't know how to season your damn food. A mind that's well instructed says, okay, the Lord made herbs and medicines out of the earth. Let me find out, without having to go back and get your doctorate degree. Ain't nobody asked you to go back to college and get a biology degree to figure it out. You got a friggin' computer in your pocket. How about, here's a thought. You get off of TikTok for 15 minutes and you can use that 15 minutes to Google a herbal recipe. Just a thought, sisters. Just a thought. Who am I? Who am I? I don't know. Read that. No, what was you at? You was reading Romans. Yeah, read 15.
The book of Sirach, chapter 26, verse 15.
And I'm talking about social media too, because Lord have mercy. Every thought in your brainstem does not have to go on Facebook. Brothers know, your husbands know when y'all throwing shots. He know when y'all talking crap. Everybody else that can read the crap know that you got something on your mind. Jump up to verse 6.
Sirach, chapter 26, verse 6.
We're getting ready to read about social media right here.
But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman, and a scourge of the tongue which communicateth with all.
When it says communicateth with all, how do you communicate with all? Via social media. God said that's a shameless woman, and the scourge of her tongue, she communicates with all via social media. That is the polar opposite of a virtuous wife, a good wife, a highly moral wife. You are declaring to everybody that you have such a low standard. I don't know what goes on in your mind when you sisters be on Facebook posting everything that comes off top of your head, but you're literally displaying to your circle, whether you got 100 friends, 1,000, 1,000,000, whatever. You are declaring to them the low level of standard that you have, not only for yourself, but for your husband, for your children if you got them. That's what you're communicating to all. Believe it or not. That's why it says the scourge of the tongue communicates with all. Jump down to verse. That's why God said a silent and a loving woman is a gift to the Lord, a gift of the Lord. Jump down to verse. What verse was that? Yeah, 15.
Sirach, chapter 26, verse 15. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace.
It says a shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace. Read.
And her continent mind cannot be valued.
I want you to look up two words, shamefaced and continent. Shamefaced and continent. We're gonna look through the dictionary, and this is, so brothers and sisters, when y'all are reading, y'all absolutely should have a dictionary up, have your phone or your computer, your iPad or whatever close, so that you could be looking up these words as whenever you're reading, whenever you study on your own or your personal study time. Don't just read and be like, okay, I got to have a continent mind. You don't know what the hell that means. Go ahead, read that.
Shamefaced, showing modesty.
God said a shamefaced woman shows modesty. Go ahead. Showing shame or shame. Scroll down. Go to synonyms. That's antonyms. Okay, synonyms. Ashamed, guilty, shamed. Is that it? Okay, there we go. All right, read that. And then we'll read some of these synonyms.
The definition of modest: unassuming or moderate in the estimation of one's abilities or achievements.
So some of the synonyms are humble. Where you see quiet? Yeah, quiet, shamefaced, fearful, meek, media shy, bashful, reserved, mild. So she's not all in her husband's face, talking reckless. She's bashful. She's unassuming. She's humble. She's meek. Blushing. Apologetic, meaning she doesn't feel like she needs to be right all the time. She can apologize once or twice. Read that. A shamefaced. Now go to continent. Yeah, no, yeah, the verse.
Sirach 26, verse 15. A shamed-faced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued.
And her continent mind cannot be valued. Her ability to exercise self-restraint, self-control. It says especially sexually. Guess what? A woman that has self-control and self-restraint of her speech. Keep in mind how much we've talked about being shamefaced, your speech, the way you communicate, you being a silent woman. We talked about a virtuous woman. We talked about a woman that communicate that's a scourge of the tongue. Verse 8 talks about, we didn't read it, but verse 8 talks about a gatter abroad. Notice how a lot of what we've read is going into how a woman deals in her speech. You'd be shocked how far you can get in your marriage with your husband by exercising self-control and self-restraint in your speech. Imagine how far you get. Imagine the decrease in arguments, fights, the back and forth. You'd be shocked. Wait, for time's sake. Read on.
Verse 16.
Okay, so now here's the point. Here's the point that I was getting to earlier when I said that it's in your spirit to be able to manage everything that comes your way. And I'm talking about everything from personal business to school to academics to children to dealing with the husband to dealing with budgets, family. I think I said education. I said academics. That's in your spirit to do. Verse 16.
Verse 16. As the sun when it ariseth in the high heaven, so is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house.
God said it's a beautiful thing when a wife is able to order the house. She's able to manage the house. She's able to make sure things stay in order. I'm going to give you an example. Making excuses for keeping certain things neat and organized in the home. I'll give you an example. Do you necessarily need 100 pack of anything, rubber bands? But then you're like, damn, there's rubber bands all over the place. Well, you bought 200 of them. Then they was in the lowest drawer for your 2-year-old to get. Now they scattered all over the place. Now you mad because your 2-year-old scattered them all over the place. Okay, all right, cool. How about when it comes to clothes? Damn, I have nowhere to put all these clothes for the kids. Well, sister, you haven't thrown any clothes away in the last 5 years. How about you purge some of these things? But this is what she took pictures in when she was 6 months. But then your ass is sitting up complaining about not having no room, but it's within your power to manage it and order it. Throw it away. Because it's crap where moth and rust doth corrupt. The house burned down tomorrow, then what? So I understand you sisters, but y'all want memories and y'all want all this. Okay, cool, but damn, it gets to a point where you got to be able to say, you know what? I don't want the house to continue to look like crap. Maybe the children's bookshelf doesn't have to look like a junkyard. Maybe if I buy some shelves and put some stuff on the shelves, put it high enough to where the kids can't get it, maybe that would help alleviate certain pressures of cleaning. Because there's on YouTube, there's a lady, there's a couple of them, but they have these videos where they show you how to you can go to like different craft stores and stuff like that. Like you can organize on a budget, basically. It's like budget organizing. And so, whether you have kids or not or whatever, they show you where you can hang. That's why I brought up the example of the bookshelf, because you can buy literally just the shelf, because I got one in my office where it's just a shelf, and then you can buy 2 bookends, and they cheap. They ain't but $2. Bookends on each side, so the books are not falling left and right. So guess what? You got the books high enough to where they're not in the kids' line of sight, and just that much more, you're able to keep the room looking like something. Like it's little things like that. Now, obviously, if you got 9 kids or something like that, obviously, am I saying it's a perfect formula? Trust me, I understand. I got 4. I'm speaking in general. I'm speaking generally. However, whatever your complaint is, stop damn complaining. Find a solution. Sirach 26:16. Let's read it one more time.
As the sun, when it ariseth in the high heaven, so is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house.
The beauty of a good wife in the ordering, the maintaining, the structuring of her house. The ordering, maintaining, and structuring of her house is a God-given gift. And he put it inside of the Israelite woman. He put it inside of the Black, Hispanic, and Native American woman. It is up to you to activate that spirit and say, you know what? Let me stop making dumb excuses and get it done. As opposed to trying to figure out how not to do it and waiting day after day after day. I'll do it next week. I'll do it next month. I'll do it next year. 10 years later, Rome still look like crap. How about let me think of every excuse. Let me think of every reason to get $50 to see how I can better organize this part of the house. What kind of trap can I set to make sure, or not trap, but what can I buy to make sure that things stay neat, things stay tidy? There's books for it. I just bought one. There's YouTube videos. You can go to YouTube University and learn this stuff for free. But you make every excuse in a friggin' book to be sloppy as hell. And I gotta say it like that because I can't say it nice. You had something? Sound like you over here in the spirit. Go to Proverbs 31.
I was saying I use Pinterest. I'll be going on Pinterest. That's what social media should be used for.
Exactly.
It should be used for a woman professing that modesty, that virtuous wife. Mm-hmm. They should be using that on social media, like the TikTok and things. Like I was just telling my wife the other day, I want her to make a TikTok so she could show how she packs my lunches, because I like how she packs my lunches. So I'm like, put that thing on TikTok, because I saw Esau do it and somebody was posting it, and I was like, I get better bags, than that. So all praises.
All praises, man. Get Proverbs 18. No, let me get 31. I'm going to end on 18. Go to Proverbs 31 and verse 27. This is a precept for what we're reading in Sirach 26 about ordering your house.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 27. She looketh well to the ways of her household.
So God says a virtuous woman looks well to the ways of her household. She looks well to the ways of her household. She's looking and examining, what can we make better? How can we be more organized? How can we be more structured? Maybe the winter clothes, I don't necessarily have to have every single piece of clothing that I've ever worn in the last 15 years in the closet, because there's no more space. And now it's falling all over the floor. Now it's just in bundles on top of the shelf in the closet. And it looks like crap. Maybe I don't need the 15-year-old pair of shoes because now it's all over the walkway, and I ain't got nowhere to walk. I'm damn near about to break my ankle slipping over your shoes. Or, damn, my husband got a lot of shoes. Let me figure out how to maybe pick them up off the floor, how to maybe get some shelves to put them on, maybe get some sort of case or something like that. Let me figure out, because he got a lot of dadgum shoes. You know, he got a lot of dadgum clothes too. Maybe because it's Texas and it's going to be 100 degrees for 6 months, maybe I don't need to have the coats in the closet. Maybe I can buy a bin, put them inside the bin, put them inside the garage until winter rolls back around. Then that'll free up some space in the closet. I know y'all think I'm talking SH and y'all like, this nigga don't know what the hell wrong with him, who he think he talking to. I know. Listen, man. I'm telling you what works. Because I'm telling you because I even in my office, because I was like, you know what? Let me model this thing. Let me see what I can do in my space first. So what I did was in my office, I have a L-shaped desk, and not a lot of you would think with the size of the desk it'd be a lot of storage space, but it's not. So in my desk, as opposed to just throwing junk in it, I bought this divider thing. So it's like it's a cubbies. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. There are little compartments and cubbies inside of it. So I have pens in the long part. I got my sticky notes in the little middle section. I have the business cards in one section, and it looked good. It looked good. And guess what? I got a trash can. My bathroom's right next to my office, so I don't got to go far to throw nothing away. So I don't got a bunch of trash in there and all that. Now I do have a bunch of laptops that I be taking apart and stuff like that, but that, whatever. So it ain't perfect by no stretch of the imagination, but something as small as that thing cost me like $7 on Amazon. A little $7 divider I put inside the drawer, and now I'm organized. Now I don't have to think about, damn, where my notepads at? Where my sticky notes at? Because that's what they be, where is this at? Where are the batteries at? If you have a dedicated place in your crib, a dedicated drawer, this is the drawer for this is the drawer for that. Because I'm now finna go on a tangent. But on I be watching desk setup videos. I watch a lot of desk setup videos on YouTube. You know, cable management and stuff, because I don't like cables all over the place. So I'll be buying like Velcro stuff. I zip tie my Ethernet cables to my desk. I be looking at cable management stuff because I don't like a mess like that. And it costs $7 for that. I mean, you're talking about a $25 investment. And again, is it a perfect science? No, but it looks a hell of a lot better than what it did. And it's basic things like that you can do that might save an argument down the line. Y'all damn near about to divorce because somebody loses pens. Babe, where are the batteries? I don't know. Well, I need a battery for this. Well, I don't know. Okay, well, go get batteries. I don't feel like going to get batteries. Well, damn, sister. Now y'all back and forth over some batteries. I think we need to separate. Wait a minute. What the hell? It's escalated quickly. How the hell we go from batteries to separating? I'm telling you, man, the stuff I be hearing in Israel. Listen, we God's chosen people. Trust me. Because we crazy as hell. There's a reason why we are homeborn slaves. Because we crazy as hell. Let me go back to the scripture. Go back Proverbs 31:27.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 27. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness.
Here's my challenge to the sisters. I would like to see maybe 5 sisters do a transformation video. They take a messy, whether it be a messy part of the house or maybe a junk drawer or something like that. I want to see 5 sisters do a what did I just call it?
Before and after.
Yeah, like a before and after transformation, a transformation video, a before and after of the crib looked like crap before. I watched X video and this is what it turned out looking like. Let's say it's your pantry. You watch some videos on how to organize a pantry or your refrigerator. Yo, the refrigerator looks like crap. You go on YouTube, you search up how to organize the refrigerator, post a before and after. 5 sisters, that's it. Let me see who in the spirit. 5 sisters. If it's bound on earth, it's bound in heaven. 5 sisters. We're going to see, man. We're going to see. 31. You ready 31? It's damn, it's 9:30. Last verse. 18:22. Or 18. 18:20. Yeah, 18:22. Last verse.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 22. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord.
If you have a wife that applies these scriptures, guess what? It says, read it again.
Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing.
You have found a good thing. And what?
And
you know why it's a good thing? One reason why it's a good thing is because it's so rare. It's so valuable. It's invaluable. That's what we read in Sirach 26. Her value is above gold when you got a good wife. You got good health. You have a good spirit. You have an organized home, a clean home. Damn, that's invaluable. So it said, read it again.
Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord.
Guess what? You've obtained favor from God. You men that have a wife that applies this, am I saying it's going to be a perfect? Of course not. The scripture says there shall be trouble in the flesh. So guess what? It's a process for all of us. But guess what? Hell, if you got half of this, you're doing good. You're on the right track. You're on the right track. So all praise to the Most High. I'm going to shut it down on this. It's almost 9:30. I pray y'all were able to glean something from the class. I'm full well expecting 5 sisters to do a before and after, a transformation video. It ain't got to be nothing long. I ain't talking about no 30-minute video. I ain't going to watch that. If it's 2 minutes, 60 seconds, something of a before and after to prove and to show that it is possible to apply the scriptures that we just read in Sirach 26 and Proverbs 31. And with that, I say, shalom.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.